Lock us in, load us in, pop in that 8-track, spin the tape. Here we go. Hey now everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Star Wars Time Show, and guess what? Nick is still sick, but he's back, so he's not being a dick. That's right. We're back for some Star Wars talk. I mean, we've got plenty to talk about. We've got a brand new addition to our Star Wars fandom segment of the show, which we've kicked off a few weeks ago, which just focuses on really just all you people being rad. I mean, you Star Wars fan artists, you Star Wars fan toy photographers, you Star Wars fan photographers, whatever fandom it is. I'm always out there looking for it. Nick is always out there ready to consume it and appreciate it and let you know about it. So we're actually going to kick off the show with our brand new segment, which we are launching this week. This is the first time we're doing it. But we're doing it because we want to highlight some of the Star Wars fandom, in particular the Star Wars artists out there. And when I say artists, that includes photography, fan art, animation, videos, whatever. Because as I said, I'm always on the lookout for this type of content. So really what we're basing this on, this segment, is Instagram. You know, we have our Instagram account, right, Nick? What is it again?
It's Star Wars Time Show. Instagram at Star Wars Time Show.
At that. And so, I mean, every day I make a point to find really radical tubular, that's for you TMNT fans out there.
Nice.
Cowabunga. For those fans that want to be radical. But anything that's awesome Star Wars that people create that just want to pay homage to the Star Wars franchise. It's mostly toy photography, but I also try to find some Star Wars fan art, in particular artists that I love. I'm telling you, these guys, it's a shame these guys do not work for Lucasfilm full time. And the first one is Darren Tibbles, Daz Tibbles on Instagram, and then Venomous. I love these people. But anyways, so what this segment's going to be is each week I share multiple pictures on a hashtag of Star Wars Time Show. And those pictures from a certain time period, basically Friday to Thursday, Nick and I are going to look over and we're going to decide which ones we like the best. I mean, that doesn't mean that someone sucks or someone's better than anyone else, because if you're getting featured, you're awesome. I mean, I appreciate you. Nick appreciates you. This is just, we want to highlight accounts that if you're a Star Wars fan, we think you may want to follow because, I mean, they bring joy to me. I think they bring joy to Nick, and they're just cool people to follow. So, Nick, go ahead and kick off because, I mean, you kind of launched the post. You kind of set the tone. So let's kick off our first top 5 Instagram Star Wars shares of the week.
Yeah, top 5. So these are in no particular order. We have a post up on StarWarsTime.net. We'll have that linked in the post for the podcast as well. But basically, like Matt said, I just went and I grabbed things that really jumped out at me. So I don't have like a grading system. I didn't say like, oh, this is like an A-, this one's like a B+. I just looked at them. I went through our feed, and I was like, oh, holy shit, that looks really cool.
Yeah, these are all badass, by the way. All grade A, kick-ass shit.
So first up is from Barton LTM, and it is what essentially looks like...
I love this thing.
It's so fucking good. It's almost like you're looking at like a John Rambo version of Darth Maul. It's Maul, and he's in full, like... tactical. He's got like a cut-off sweater on. Yeah. He's wearing like tactical boots, tactical jeans, and he's got like a assault rifle in his hand, and it's in the rain. I mean, like, this shot is so perfectly captures not only Darth Maul, but like this war scene.
Look at the rebar coming out of the little concrete thing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this shot, everything about it's so fantastic. Like the setting.
I don't know the scale of this figure. I'm guessing it's either 112 or 16. Either way, it's no bigger than 12 inches. In the way he captures it, it's just fantastic.
It looks full size.
It is so badass. The reason I'm laughing like an idiot is because the way Nick described it is perfect. It really is, man. It's like a Rambo or John Wick or someone like that, but it's Darth fucking Maul.
Yeah. I mean, and just the way that he's positioned, like this guy Barton, he set this thing up so perfectly. It looks like he's about to like slide down and shoot.
His posing is exquisite.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're into photography, toy photography in particular, posing is tough. I suck at posing. Like I'm much better at portrait shots. I'll admit that. I'm trying to get better at posing. But what this guy does, I mean, I imagine he probably used some sort of wire work to achieve this pose. But if you look at it, you wouldn't know. Either way, I mean, the customization is fantastic. Check out Barton on Instagram. Again, Barton_LTM. Wait till you see some of his C3PO shots. I haven't shared any. I have some planned for next week. And I have a feeling Nick's probably going to pick him again for next week's top 5 because his C3PO custom shots are out of this world. All right, buddy. So move on to the next one because this is another fantastic toy photographer.
Next up is from Everything Kylo, and it is just like a fantastic portrayal of, you know, Luke from Hoth. Basically, you know, Jedi Luke from Hoth. He's got his lightsaber out, but he's staring
so
up at an ATST, and you can see it's like through smoke. It looks like a war zone. They're not on Hoth because you can see there's rocks and there's sand, but like he's still wearing his full Rebel pilot outfit. He's got the lightsaber helmet. I mean,
he's ready to fucking rock and roll, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what and you know what, by the way? Just today I realized that this account is Everything Kylo, and not everything Kylo.
Yeah. But don't worry.
Because honestly, I love Jesse's work. I mean, I've been following this dude forever under my Haywood Pop account. This guy is, to me, one of my favorite practical effects dudes, especially when it comes to fireworks. And again, here, I guarantee this is some sort of smoke bomb. I know this motherfucker's not using like atmosphere aerosol or shit like that. Not that I'm hating on that. I know Jesse always goes legit, light something on fire, and let's create some awesome toy photography. And this is a great example, so I'm glad you picked this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's so striking because of that effect, because of that smoke effect.
It has great perspective. Yeah. The smoke, the way it hazes out, the chicken walker. I mean, it's pimp.
He even threw in a little JJ lens flare there on the saber.
Oh, totally. And anyone listening, I mean, again, check out his account, Everything Kylo.
Yep.
On IG. I mean, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Wait till you see some of his fireworks stuff or some of the recent stuff he did with the SH Figure Arts Hulk from Infinity War, where he's literally like doing cocaine and stuff. It's fantastic.
Oh, my God. Yeah, such a good shot. So next up, and I mean, this one is just like a perfect action shot if I've ever seen one.
Dude, I mean,
so this one's from Black Series on Instagram, BLKSRS, and it is a shot of Rey in her
another must follow if you're into this type of stuff. I mean, instantly must follow.
Yeah, I mean, this shot is basically, it's Rey in her full scavenger gear jumping off of her Jakku speeder, and she has her
I mean,
staff
she's doing
in
a
her hand.
cowabunga dude.
Yeah, about to smash some First Order trooper in the head.
And the best part is, I believe Zay originally had an original trilogy stormtrooper until he remembered that didn't work.
Yeah, you gotta have the First Order stormtrooper.
So he dubbed in like a lieutenant, First Order scrub.
Yeah. But, dude, I mean, the thing that makes this shot for me is one, you have some atmospheric effects going on, but the blur, like the motion blur.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, he adds, perfect motion blur.
Yeah.
You got, it's Zay, so I know he's got some atmosphere aerosol in there. And then just the look on the trooper like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then Ray just literally doing cowabunga, dude.
Yeah, coming down almost like Donatello.
Yeah,
with the
staffing it up.
staff.
She's got her trooper goggles on, face mask still on, the mini turban, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, anything you see on at BLKSRS, you're just going to be like, oh, shit. Yeah, follow it.
Yeah, it's fantastic shot. This one stood out to me immediately just because of the action-oriented pose.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one too.
So next up, we have one from FX Toys, and it is it looks like a regular Stormtrooper. It's not. It's a Mimbon Trooper though, and it's the way that this is set up. It's so cool. It's a war scene, and it's focused on this one Mimbon Trooper, but you see lasers shooting past him. There's fire in the background, like little flecks of fire, and it's a completely like it almost looks like the place where this person is standing is completely on fire because the entire background is red. All the color around it is red. I mean, I thought that this was really, really a fantastic shot, like a good action war shot. And it's a Mimbon Trooper.
I mean,
you rarely see these.
Yeah, the tone, the atmosphere is very spot on to what we saw in Solo when we got the Mimbon shots with Han. You'll fly, and we actually do see him fly, except it's not in a craft; it's through the air onto the ground. So the atmosphere is there, the tone's perfect, like you said. The laser bolts flying through, the pose is great. I believe this is a figure arts figure, because the joints. I believe the Hasbro, the joints aren't as noticeable, but it's still again, an overall fantastic shot.
Yeah, really.
From the perspective, the capture, and then to the post processing, great job from FX Toys.
Yeah, well done. Okay, so the last one is probably, in my opinion, it's the coolest shot of them all.
Right.
And it's Yoda sleeping on a tree on Dagobah by Sergeant Bananas.
Right. And I had to, again, if you're in the toy photography community, toy collecting community, whatever, there's a pretty good chance you've heard of Sergeant Bananas. I mean, he is one of the pioneers. I mean, the dude has a book out. I mean, he kicks ass. I mean, he takes fantastic shots. So it was funny to hear Nick, before we went live, talk about this shot. It's like, man, you gotta understand, like, this guy is like one of the grandfathers of toy photography becoming mainstream. I mean, it's happened for a while, but I mean, Johnny at Sergeant Bananas definitely is, in my opinion, considered one of the forefathers of the modern movement, at least on Instagram and whatnot. And it is. I mean, he's great at posing, great at his captures, framing, and he usually does everything in frame. I mean, a lot of this is not photoshopped. That light is probably actually lit up. I mean, that light back there is probably an actual light source.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why this guy's got, like, I don't know, over 50,000 followers.
Yeah,
probably.
I think he's at 67,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But
like I said, I mean, the dude's got a book out there. I mean, it might still be on Amazon, and it shows you a lot of his work. A lot of it is Star Wars related, and you get to see some of the behind the scenes. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. So that wraps up the top 5, and like Matt said, this is going to be a recurring segment on the podcast.
Yeah, I like
now.
that. I mean, I think it's fun because this is shit this makes up a big part of my Star Wars fandom right now. Is the toy photography and the art. Like, we didn't show any art pieces tonight, but there's a good chance you're going to start seeing them because, I mean, I share that as well. I mean, our Star Wars shares, hashtag Star Wars Time Show, if you want to try to get it featured. Trust me, I'll throw you up anyways, just because I appreciate the work some of you people put out. A lot of you people put out. So have at it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fun thing to get into, even if you're not aware of it. If you're just hearing it now for the first time, if you just listen to us. I mean, if you're on Instagram, check out this community. Trust me, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect way to break the monotony of your feed, get away from the butt models and the the fucking nature.
Yeah, I realize
scenes.
on my personal account, I still do follow a lot of fitness girls.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my wife was so proud of me when I pulled it up.
So yeah, drop some Star Wars in your feed. Follow at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram, and then also go follow these guys.
Hashtag Star Wars Time Show. We'll feature you, man. Trust me.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. So we got a couple more pieces left in our fandom section, and these next two are going to be around the video game sphere. First up, we have a new video game. It was actually announced in October of last year, but it kind of fell off. There was no news after the initial release, but it's this new game from ILM, not an actual video game studio, called Project Porg. And it's a VR/AR simulated kind of living kind of game where you can hatch and train and live with porgs in your house. So this new game, ILM finally put out a tweet about it after months of no word, and they said hatching soon. And the image that they put up was really cool because it's got the porgs that's kind of sitting on your countertop. There's one sitting on your couch, and then there's a nice cool hologram of C-3PO in the background waiting to help you out. So Matt, I know you're the VR. Like, you have VR, I don't have VR. You have PSVR.
Right.
You're into it. Would you play something like this?
Well, I guess my question to you is, do you think is this a port to that lightsaber game that like Lenovo got hooked into, I believe, with these guys, or
yeah? So the Lenovo
something like
thing,
that, or do you think this is like a full on just new standalone app?
Yeah. So initially, this was supposed to release for the Magic Leap 1, which was a hot commodity back in mid 2018. And then I think there was
the game I'm talking about.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
right?
It's the Lenovo lightsaber.
I kind of want it.
Yeah.
Has it dropped in price?
Yeah, I think it did. It was on sale not too long. Actually, I sent you the link when it was on sale.
I think I'd probably spend $100 on it at this point.
Yeah. But I think that what we might hear from this is that they're going to expand where it's available. Because the Magic Leap 1, I don't know if that's still as hot as it was, but I would like to see something like this come to, like, if that Lenovo headset got this and the lightsaber game, then I would definitely be in for that.
Yeah. I guess that's just kind of where I was wishfully thinking it was going.
Yeah. So no news yet from ILM Lab, but it does look like that this game is finally going to be coming out, and it's been a long time.
So you really think you're just like hatching these motherfuckers and hanging out?
So this is a piece of the description from the official Star Wars post.
They show 3PO's ass.
Yeah.
In there.
So it says, be training, feeding, and playing with the porgs.
Oh my god.
And C-3PO will be there as your assistant. So he'll kind of be like your Professor Oak if you've played Pokemon. He'll help you along the journey.
Yeah, I have no clue what that meant, but I'm glad he dropped it.
Yeah, see, I know there's. I mean, I don't know.
Nick's like making us relevant with
the younger crowd.
Ages.
Our demo may skew older, but you know what? There's probably
our demo's like 60 to death.
Look, if you're out there,
I love you guys though.
If you're out there and you've played Pokemon and you're listening to our show, then you'll appreciate the Professor Oak reference. But yeah, dude, this game, it does look like it's a nice little fun game. The one thing that it does kind of bring up sour shit for me is like, okay, you have time to design a fucking Porg mixed reality game, but the only fucking AAA game that we can get in 7 years are fucking Battlefront games. Like, I don't want to go on a rant here, but I just can't understand how you can put this much work and this much, this many resources into a game like this, and you can't put out a fucking good RPG.
It is bad, man, isn't it? It is. It's like at this point, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's become.
It's disgusting. I mean, are we not 10 years? I mean, when was Force Unleashed 2? I know I fuck this up every time.
I'm pretty sure it was 2010.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's way later than I thought.
Yeah, so let me just confirm here. 2010. So it's been 9 years. It's almost been 10 years. I mean, 9 years since this game came out. That was the last fucking Star Wars
Since
game.
we've had a somewhat legit, random, just Star Wars, not canon, not Battlefront game.
Yeah. Now, like we covered in previous casts, we do have Jedi Fallen Order that is scheduled to release this year.
Oh, dude, by the way, Xbox owners, this month, if you're Xbox Gold, you can download a classic Star Wars game.
Which one?
I believe it's Jedi Outcast, maybe?
Jedi Outcast is legit. Like Jedi Outcast, and then that's followed by Jedi Academy. Those two games are excellent. I really enjoyed that. And those were actually the first two games that I ever played on the original Xbox. So, big fan. If those are available for you to download.
Yeah, no, it's I'm sorry, it's Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which came out on the original Xbox.
Yep, that was Jedi Academy. I played that. I finished that game three different
legit
times.
Still though.
Oh yeah, dude. It's the lightsaber play in that game is fantastic. Like it's completely real-time action combat.
Was that post KOTOR then?
Yeah, oh yeah, that was after KOTOR, I believe.
KOTOR 2?
KOTOR 2 might have been close. So let's look it up. Jedi Academy video game.
Hey
On the
Google,
internet.
when did Knights of the Old Republic 2 come out?
According to Wikipedia, it is the sequel to BioWare's Star Wars,
Yeah,
Knights of the Old
no
Republic,
shit.
and was released for the Xbox on December 6, 2004, for Microsoft
Oh, 4.
Windows on
Okay.
February 8, 2005, and OS X and Linux on
Okay.
July 1st, 2015.
Thanks.
Stop!
To read more,
Hey!
look for the link in your Google Home app.
Yeah. Oh. Hey. Thanks, Google.
But so Jedi Academy released in 2003. So that it came out 1 year before KOTOR 2, but it came out
All right,
after KOTOR
rock
1.
and roll. But I mean, if you're Xbox Live Gold, and I would assume you'd be young. Check this game out.
Yeah, I mean it's
gonna look wonky as fuck to you. You're gonna be like, man, this shit is beat looking.
yeah, I mean it's not gonna have the best
It's gonna
graphics.
look beat, and it's gonna look beat as fuck.
But here's the cool thing about this game. First off, you're playing through as a completely new character. His name is Jaden Core. And two, you get to choose, like you're going through your training, you're learning all of these Jedi and dark side skills, and you get to choose your lightsaber configurations at some point. So you can use a single saber, you can use a double saber, or you can use a double bladed saber.
Wasn't this the game that had the multiplayer, like online,
Yeah.
where you just like hack at each
Yeah.
other like idiots?
Yep, you could just go online. It's just a bunch of people with lightsabers.
Yeah, I
running
remember.
around.
I remember this being the really good, just kind of random Star Wars game.
It was fantastic, dude.
like it wasn't Kyle Katarn. It was just like you said, a brand new dude.
Yeah, I mean, Luke is in the game kind of as your mentor.
Well, yeah.
but-
I mean, back then Luke showed up in every damn
yeah.
game.
But it's a fantastic story because it dabbles in Old Republic lore. So you're going through, at one point in the game, you're going through these old Sith ruins on Korriban. So you go to Korriban, you go through these Sith ruins. There's this new Sith threat that's out in the galaxy, and it's this female Twi'lek, all red Twi'lek. I think her name is Tavion. And it's just such a good game. The combat in it was what really stood out to me. It was the first Star Wars game that I played where it was full real-time action combat. It's not like KOTOR where it's, RPG style where you have to stop and pick your stuff.
It's straight up like an action adventure game.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. So for those of you who haven't played that game, if it is available to download on Xbox Live,
I mean, it will be. It's the Xbox titles, they kind of stagger them, but it's definitely this month.
yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Fantastic game. if you're not into the old graphics, deal with it for a little bit, because one, the story is well worth it, and the gameplay
here we go,
is
Nick.
great.
Between February 16th and the 28th, it'll be available.
Okay, next week, next Saturday is when it'll pop up. So go get that immediately. I will be downloading it. I haven't played that game in such a long time, but like I said, I beat it 3 times. I played it 3 different times.
And honestly, the more we talk about this, I have both this sitting out, and I know the One X will up-res them as far as it'll go. I almost want to do KOTOR 1 and 2 again.
Dude, I mean, those games...
It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've done... It's been forever since I've done KOTOR 2.
KOTOR 2...
If I've ever done it multiple times.
I started that one not too long ago. I started a playthrough on my PC. And it is, dude. It's a good game. I mean, it definitely doesn't get the love that KOTOR 1 gets, because KOTOR 1's story was so good. It was so well executed.
It was amazing.
And
it was amazing.
I mean, it's a different studio too. Obsidian made KOTOR 2. BioWare made, like, good old BioWare made KOTOR 1.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, I know.
So, but yeah, I mean, look, guys, we're in a kind of a fallow period for Star Wars games now, so sometimes you have to reach into the past for these gems. So when stuff like this,
you know what, dude? I mean, as silly as it sounds, you're exactly right, though. I mean, what else do we have to do? I mean, unless you are playing Battlefront, and by no means are Nick and I shitting on Battlefront players. The game's beautiful looking. It's fantastic.
The story was
I
good.
love the ship stuff. But it's Battlefront. I mean, it's multiplayer over and over. I mean, thank God we got a story aspect in the second one.
Yeah.
But in the end, I am a Star Wars gamer that wants a narrative. I want a story. I want a character that I can buy into, that I can do stuff with and progress and get better. I don't care if he's a Jedi, a Sith, or a smuggler, whatever. I want a Star Wars game that is not focused on multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that is a sentiment that most of the community can echo.
Yeah, I mean...
The only other thing out there, and me and you know a lot about this, SWGO. So...
Next up, right?
Next up. And, we said we had 2 video game pieces here. First up was the Porgs. Now we're back on SWGO here, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And
dude, I mean, this game, to me, it really is. It is the wine of video games.
It just keeps getting better. You're right. Like, it's one of those games where you expect it to start, like, petering off, or for them to fuck it up somehow, because we've seen games, like, both of us played Marvel Strike Force pretty hardcore when it first came out,
my God.
And then
crashed and burned.
Yeah.
It's still alive, believe it or not. I mean, it still has an audience.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pay to play, but I mean, in that case, the developer nuked it.
I've played SWGO literally from the first day.
Yeah,
so I've seen this thing evolve into what it is today, and what you're gonna talk about here, and it's amazing to me. Like, the Capital Games, love them or hate them, has literally figured out the magic.
Yeah.
To a mobile video game.
And, like, the fact that this new event can happen. I mean, if you think about the events that we've seen in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and stuff like that.
They just keep dropping, by the way, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting events now, like, monthly.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the time these events are around massive characters. So you have, like, Jedi Knight Revan, or you have, JTR, or any of these huge characters. But this new event is really cool because it's focusing on smaller characters from the prequel era, and it's the Separatist Droid Army event. So basically what we're getting is updates to the current Separatist droids that we have in the game. So that's the IG-100 Magna Guard, the Super Battle Droid, and General Grievous. Plus, we're getting the B-1 Battle Droid and the Droideka added to the game. And along with this rework, you know how these reworks work if you've played the game.
Basically, rework is code for they're going to finally be useful characters.
Exactly. So they're building this synergy between these characters. So now we have 5 separatist droids that can be used on a team. You have a team of 5,
Basically led by
General Grievous.
GG.
Yeah. And I can't like I'm really excited to see how they take these characters and they make them work together.
I have a 7-star Grievous.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's been useless for forever, so I'm excited, but I don't have much else. So
Yeah. The other ones,
I know he gets credit for separatists, for droids. I've got some decent droids, so who knows?
yeah. So
But no, I mean, I think this is great because if anything, this just stalls from the next major event.
yeah,
Which allows us free players to keep farming shit we're way behind on. Like, I'm still trying to catch up on the Revan people. That's my main focus right now.
yeah. I'm not even.
So if you're a Swago player, I mean, you know what we're talking about. If you're not, you're going, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
But what we're trying to tell you is, honestly, if you need like a little mobile game to fuck around with throughout the day that you never have to pay for, and it can honestly provide hours upon hours of entertainment or just distraction, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I mean, you cannot beat it. It's over 3 years old. It just gets better and better. They provide more and more content. They make it more and more open to people that don't want to pay, while they also reward those that do. But they don't make it to... I don't feel it's unfair. Like, I feel like my rankings are because I don't pay and whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
I
like
get
you
that.
can't play the game. Like
But there's also like there's an example like my buddy Nurse Jane. He doesn't pay shit, but he's ranking top 5 in chips.
yeah. I mean,
So I mean, again, if you play it, you know, if you're ranking top 5, you're making hundreds of gems a day, which means you can basically
you're basically living.
You're
like
basically
a pay player.
getting free money anyways, as if you were paying to play.
Yeah. So I mean, this is again, like we talk about this game. I feel like we talk about this game at least every 2 weeks on the podcast, but free to play, go download it.
It's my life. It's my gaming life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play a ton of stuff now. Like I have Kingdom Hearts 3 that I'm preparing to play at some point when I decide to install it, but
Yeah, right.
like
This guy said he'd be lucky to play it by next year.
I know. I'm such a bad gamer now. Like I used to crack through stuff as soon as it came out, but now it's
That's
just
cool,
like,
bro. I fired up RDR2 recently, and I just went. I don't know if I have it in me to play this.
too much. There's so much going
Yeah,
on.
it's just gonna be like too much shit. It's kind of slow.
Dude, the last
Like-
game that I played like hardcore, last console game that I played hardcore was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That was the last one.
Yeah, and by hardcore, I'm sure you probably still split it up for hours upon.
I still
hours.
haven't beaten it yet. Like I'm to the
Yeah,
end.
me neither,
I'm
dude.
to
Me
the end.
neither. I'm ready to go fight Ganon, and I just don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
I
what
don't want to do it
I don't know.
because of all the other time I put in. Like, I'm tired of fucking with it.
Yeah, it's like I put all the time in. I have everything in the game.
I have the sword. Like, I mean, I got the fucking sword. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. That's just that. I think that's what happens. It comes with age. It seems like.
No, dude, it's 100%. And I mean, I got a lot on you, but trust me, it only gets worse.
Yeah. So eventually
Only
I'll
gets
finish
worse.
that.
I mean, by the way, now I'll admit it. I play most games on the easiest difficulty.
You just want to get through the story, man.
Exactly.
I just want to see what happens.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like, if they have a story mode and they're like, yo, do you just want story mode? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do.
It's like I'm playing this for the story experience.
I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if I'm aiming at his knees and I'm one shot.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, just tell me what happens as I progress.
Let's
through
go.
it.
Like, I want to feel like I'm playing, but I just want. I'm all about narrative at this point.
100%. So
Like the old. I mean, it's a shame Telltale disappeared because I love those games because you just be like, blah,
yeah, you just pick
blah,
a dialogue
you know, like hit a
option.
button, beep, bop, beep, bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, that's as non-interactive as you can get.
That's
with
why
a
I like
video
Swaggo.
game.
Swaggo.
All you gotta do
Swaggo.
is just hit the autoplay button, and then there you go.
Exactly 4 times. You gotta remember, Nick, before you joined on, there was no such thing as 4 times.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I remember when you had to play through every damn thing every day. Like now, I can sim everything.
Yeah, I remember
when simming currency, you actually had to save it.
Yeah, I remember when the sim currency was like, oh shit, I need sim tickets. Like, I don't have any of that. And now I have like 40,000 sim tickets.
Oh my god, yeah, like sim currency now. I mean, it's free flowing.
Yeah,
we're like Scrooge McSim.
yeah. You don't ever have to worry about running out of that. But just like the quality, and that's another thing. Like the quality of life changes that they make to this game. They make sense.
Are great,
and it just,
and literally they're basically because we're lazy assholes. Like the latest one was literally to move the free shipment icon to the front of the queue instead of to the end, so you didn't have to swipe through 800 offers to spend real money on shit to tap on.
Dude, I was so appreciative of that. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, this is nice.
Yeah,
this is nice.
It is one of the best QLLs of this game's lifespan.
Yeah, because I remember I was like, okay, I got to open my free pack. Let me scroll all the way to the end of the list. Here it is.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I'll be the first one to admit it. I mean, I'm just as lazy as the rest of you assholes.
But yeah, all right, guys. Go download this game. If you haven't downloaded the game, what the hell are you doing? And if you have downloaded the game, let us know what squad you run. In Arena, what do you run in your raids? Do you have the Death Squad? Do you have the Z-Fin for Hot? Do you have the Death Squad for the Rancor raid? Are you doing Heroic Sith yet? I'm not.
Oh, dude,
Matt is.
We're smashing Sith now in less than 3 hours.
That is insanity. My guild's...
Yeah, well, it's because it is the last Revan run. I mean, once people got Revan, basically Phase 2, I mean, anyone with Revan in Phase 2 with a legit squad, they're looking at like 8 million.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the free farm damage section anyway.
Oh, I mean, my arena got destroyed after this Revan event.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's it's like Revan Central.
Dude, I'm seeing like tier 7 gear Revan leads.
Yeah, smoking.
Yeah, just like I looked at one and I was like, I can take this.
It's called the meta.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's all about the meta. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like
his lead is so strong. If you got the Zetas, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. So basically, you have him, you have Jolie Bindo, and then whatever other Jedis you want, and you can't
GMY
lose.
and GK.
Yeah. Grandmaster Yoda used to be trash, and they made him legit.
Well, to circle back to the whole point, you brought up this lead, the GG rework, and really the full Separatist rework. GMY, just like Palpatine and Vader, they got reworked too because they all suck.
Yeah.
And they're all way better now. I mean, Palpatine Double Zeta is one of the most legit motherfucking Empire leads out there.
Yep, I still run that in my arena team. I mean, it's still good.
Bro, I've run up against GMYs where that little fucking cocksucker just one shots full everything fucks.
Oh yeah,
like full protection, full health. He does his fucking Karate Kid shit. Done.
Yeah, because like here's the Jedi squad that used to run before people like everybody had Jedi Knight Revan is they would run
Bastilla would have been the lead.
They run the Bastilla lead. They put every buff on Grandmaster Yoda, and then he throws it on everybody else.
Yeah, and then Hoda's ass would be in there to make everyone invisible, and then probably Ezra and GK.
Yeah, I mean it was ridiculous.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's Revan, Jolie, GMY, GK, and
so I mean really.
Who else? Who are we missing? Or is that the whole thing?
I mean, you would have one more. So Jedi Knight Revan, Jolie, and then Grandmaster Yoda, Kenobi. So you'd have one more. I mean, you wouldn't run Bastilla in that because
there isn't just one more. There is a specific one.
Yeah.
I got to pull it up at this point. Research.
Yeah, I don't remember it specifically.
It's easy. I mean, I just got to look at my shard, and I mean...
And it's going to be the first team up there.
The first fucking 50 teams. Oh, it's still Bastilla's still in
No,
there.
she's
then.
so she's just sitting in there. She's
Yeah.
probably sitting in. Oh, it's still you can still buff Yoda. So
Well,
you do the
she's
same
a
thing.
tank. She's a tank motherfucker.
Yeah.
So her and Kenobi are just tanks, and then Jolie is your
Instant res.
healer resuscitator.
Yeah.
And then you got crazy ass Yoda fucking ninja fuck. And then Revan just fucks everyone up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the amount of damage, especially if you have their speed really high. Like a lot of times they could, like if you don't have speed high enough and you're fighting that team, they'll wipe your whole squad before you can even make a move. Like you'll just be done.
Yeah, my whole top 50 is 1 Luke lead, 4 Treyas, rest the Revan squad.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
So like I mean I hate that I missed out on that, but there's no way I was gonna make it.
Yeah, I'm not even close to that yet. Like
I might make the next one. There's 2 characters like Mission fucking sucks.
yeah.
She sucks. She is a shithead.
And then so the first one is Mission and Zalabar, and then you're gonna need Karth, Onasi, and everybody else from Old Republic days.
No. For Revan, you need Mission, T3,
Okay, yeah.
Zalbar, Jolie, Bastilla.
Okay. So yeah, I guess yeah.
But you're not wrong. Many are speculating, including the one Kung Fu treachery, that there's going to probably be like a Darth Revan or a Darth Malik at some point.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So they think like the what's her name, like Juhani or like
Juhani, yeah,
Juhani and Candace Ordo.
and probably Dark Bastilla, because Dark Bastilla's already out.
Yeah, Emo, they call her Emo Bastilla.
Yep.
So, all right, whatever, man. I love the game. We basically just did
Like 15 minutes on.
a Swago solo podcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe.
we might as well start that sideshow
Yeah.
next.
We might just do like
If I could get Kung Fu's ass on that shit, that motherfucker. I mean, we would become famous just from that.
yeah, we could just let him school everybody on what the fuck to do.
Exactly.
And
That's
then
what I mean.
I would sit there like, yeah, I'm still like a year and a half away from being able to get this shit, and then
Yeah, but he'd be like, no, do this, this, and this, and this, and this,
Yeah.
and then that, and that, and then you'll get there.
yeah. So
Or he'd be like, just drop like a G, and then that's your, think of that as your initial investment, and then the ROI will be all the gems you're going to get.
yeah, drop that, and then you won't have to pay again.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what he said he did. He's like, he dropped the G, and now he just lives off the gems because he's 1 or 2 in both ships and standard arena.
Crazy shit.
All right, man. So let's get on to our episode 9 stuff because we do have 3 little things to talk about, and I mean, some of it's definitely we could speculate on for sure. The other stuff is I just think like these guys are all trying to be Mark Hamill now,
Yeah. So
and that's who we're gonna start with.
yeah, we're gonna kick it off with C-3PO himself, none other than Anthony Daniels.
He got me. I mean, he got my ass. I mean, he got me to do a damn video.
Yeah, I mean, he put out a tweet right after he rapped. So last week we talked about Anthony's rap on episode 9, and then shortly after that he actually put out a tweet and said, it says this: "How strange. I am receiving images of something amazing coming towards us, traveling over decades through space and time, reaching out to all humans on this planet with its message. What could it be? Should I be afraid? Should you? Stay tuned." So definitely had the Star Wars fans in a tizzy. Like, people were expecting Daniels to drop some hardcore news. And like you said, you made a reaction video to this tweet. Like, so just break down like what your thought process was when you saw this.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's like a pretty direct tweet to me. I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, I guess. I mean, I always have that lens on.
Yeah.
And you know, I wasn't the only one. I mean, I've built up this network of Hootsuite streams of various celebrities from properties I like to try and target. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, I mean, well, shit. How could this not be something related to Star Wars Episode 9?
Yeah.
So let's go with it.
And it seemed like for a while that, Daniels was just yanking our chain. Like, he didn't seem like he was going to follow up. Maybe he was just, like you said, he was pulling a Hamill. Maybe he just wasn't going to do anything with it. Then 2 days later, he sends out another tweet. And this is directly addressing the fans. He says, everyone except one is looking the wrong way.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's getting closer. Amazing. Doesn't seem to be the right shape for a movie title or trailer. Can't see an X or anything. Oh, the signal's faded. I'm sure it'll return. What can it be? Stay tuned. I will.
I mean, he's basically acting like C-3PO's like blipping in and out.
Yeah,
Almost.
it's almost like he's like, like R2 when he had the fucking message and then he didn't have the message and in A New Hope. He's like, what do you mean you don't have the message? So
I've interacted with this man, by the way. I've told you this, right?
No. What?
At Star Wars Celebration 2. Again, it was still like raw back then. I mean, we're talking 2002, people. I mean, cosplay wasn't, I don't even think it was a term. We just dressed up. Regardless, me and my buddy, I mean, back then you didn't have to like sleep over to go to the big primo panels. In fact, you could just basically walk in front of people and they'd be like, whatever. And that's what we did. So anyways, we got good seats at this panel Daniels was hosting. And he would walk out in the audience. He's wearing his gold glittery jacket. And he literally came right up to me and started talking to me. He's like, are you afraid of me? And I basically was like, no. And everyone laughed and he laughed. And, we had more interaction. But it was a pretty fantastic moment.
That is pretty sick. I mean, like how many
Oh,
people...
yeah. It was crazy. And I also may have been a little out of my mind. So it was even crazier. But...
Oh man, that's like again, like this can be my first.
It's just, I forgot. It was like he was saying something, and I made a reaction, and he came up. He's like, "What? You're not afraid of me?" And I was like, "No, I'm really not.
I'm a Jedi, bitch. Don't you see the robes?"
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh."
Dude,
But go on. And then what did he say?
So the next message comes about 30 minutes later after the one I just read.
Yeah, what's this guy doing?
I don't know. It says, okay, so this message says, I have to rest before I fall apart, but wait.
Well, I mean, this would have been almost midnight his time, by the way.
Yeah, because he lives in England. So he says, I have to rest before I fall apart, but wait. I'm receiving I'm receiving a message from TRAVO.
Fucking Trav.
Signal fading. Come back. The one who got it. So
yeah, I mean, what is he doing? This is, to me, even better than what Hamill does. I mean, Hamill goes just for pure wit.
Yeah.
This guy's going for more of a mystery approach.
He seems like, it seems like he's leading people. Like, it seems like there's substance behind what he's doing. Like, a lot of the times, like Hamill's
we're playing
just,
a game of Clue.
Yeah, like Hamill's just fucking with you. Like, Hamill knows there's nothing there. For the most part, we know that there's nothing there. But this guy is making us think that, like, okay, so this is my thought process behind it. He puts out the first tweet. People start tweeting at him like crazy. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this?
Yeah, I mean, idiots do videos.
Yeah, and then one person hits on it close, and it's somebody whose name starts with TRAV. Travis, Travers, something, travel. I don't know.
Travel.
Maybe that's what it was. But I'm really interested to see where else he goes with this, because I feel like there's some actual substance behind it. So, yeah, man. I mean, again, we're getting close to Celebration. I've booked my plane flights now. I'm going to be there. But everybody's still wondering, when are we going to get a title drop? When are we going to get a trailer reveal? And this could be, this little shtick that Daniels is doing is leading people to believe that he could have some kind of reveal information. It's just...
Well, I mean, it's... Hamill's done similar stuff recently. Everyone feels like, and people are also pointing to TLJ. I mean, we got the TLJ title at the end of January, so I mean, naturally, as we are, we're like, okay, it must be some sort of cycle pattern, right? Like, this has to be similar, and again, it's not, because even TLJ's rollout was different than TFA's.
Yeah.
And clearly they're doing it with EPIX.
We'll see, man. I mean, I'm really interested to see.
I still think we're gonna have the title before Celebration, because they're let alone for the marketing opportunities.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to be selling Star Wars blah blah gear.
Yeah, like T-shirts and posters and
Posters,
whatever.
fuck yeah.
Like, people are gonna want to buy that shit, and I feel like, I mean, you could do the reveal there on day one and then like bust out the merch after the reveal. But I do feel like if you do it early, then people just come in with their money fucking ready to buy all of the whatever.
Oh yeah. No, I'm telling you right now, the title will be out before Celebration. I will not be surprised if the first trailer is at Celebration, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if one comes before it, fantastic. But I'm not going to be surprised if they wait until April.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense. We're only, like you said, April. April
the
11th.
filming has not wrapped yet. I mean, Boyega's, we're about to get to him. I mean, he's been sending people off. They've been sending themselves off. I mean, we've been talking about Daniels is gone. The BB-8 guy is gone. But the main people are still there. So production is not wrapped.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we think about Solo released its first trailer before it wrapped, but that was a extreme circumstance. Like, they were filming that movie still like a month before it released or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Solo's still like one of the most moronic Disney moves of all time.
Yeah, just
love the movie, hated how they handled it.
Nonsensical idiocy, for lack of a better term.
They just like basically sat there and reverse kicked their balls.
Yeah, like, you had a guaranteed $1 billion and you shot yourself in the foot because you wanted to release something in May alongside fucking 3 other $1 billion franchises.
Yeah.
Like,
that you also basically owned.
Yeah, just real fucking stupid. Anyway,
people would have ate up Solo in December.
people ate it up on home video, dude. Like, I don't
Exactly.
know what the DVD digital sales were.
Well, it's on Netflix now, so I mean, again, if you follow Ron Howard, every once in a while he'll retweet some of the people like, "Oh my god, dude, this I thought this would be fucking stupid, but I watched it and I loved it."
Everybody I've talked to about Solo,
It's like, well, if you
post-release.
thought it would be, then why wouldn't you just go look at it, you fucking moron?
Yeah, like, every person I've talked to, they've been like, "Man, I saw Solo. I saw it on digital, or I rented it, or I bought it, and it was so good." I was like, "Yeah, I fucking told you that when it came out." Like, I put out a review about it and said, like, this is what the most different Star Wars movie that we've ever seen, but it's also one of the most fun Star Wars movies that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and be like, yeah, by the way, because we won't get a sequel of any sort.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. So fuck all you guys. But I mean, there is still.
Yeah. So, anyways, Anthony Daniels is being a real tease. I do think before February's out, we'll know the title, though.
I hope so. I hope you're right, because, dude, I mean, it's just, I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, dude.
I mean, we're gonna talk about a leak title eventually, but
yeah, but until
it's
that
not
time,
official. So.
until that time, we're gonna talk a little bit about Mr. John Boyega, aka
I love this guy.
FN.
Boyega is like one of my favorite motherfuckers right
He's
now.
so good. FN2187. This guy is a gem. I mean, he's active on social media. He does not shy away from the trolling things like Mark Hamill or even Anthony Daniels now. So John hopped on his Instagram page, and we all know that one Miss Daisy Ridley is no longer on social media, rightfully so. I mean,
It's been years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally, she dropped out before filming on TLJ ended. I
Dude,
forget why.
I think it was like there was a lot of people trolling her too, and like, look, if that's something that you don't want to deal with, like, just hop off of it. I mean, and I like 100% support people jumping off of social media. It fucking rots your brain. I work in social media advertising. I know that it's made to rot your brain. Like, we go for that. Like, but you know, she hasn't been on Instagram, Twitter, anything like that for a while, and I miss her on on Twitter and stuff like that. She had good
was
content.
Good. She was a good follow. I mean, was it her account that she posted Mark riding on her back?
Yeah, and it was also her account. Do you remember TLJ, pre-TLJ, she posted a video where she was working out and she had to have a pillowcase over her hair.
Right, because she had her Rey and Jedi garb gear hair.
Yep. So, I mean, she was great. But for all you people out there who wanted some Daisy Ridley on social media, it looks like John Boyega is your go-to.
Did you see his caption, by the way?
He just put, ooh, peanut, yeah.
I love it. Ooh, peanut. Yeah.
But
because she's like reaching up, touching his face.
Yeah.
So dude, I guess that really the only Star Warsy thing about this outside it's fucking Finn and Rey. I mean, come on, they are the new trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, Poe's a homie too, and so's Kylo. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, these two. I mean, they're
the best. But I mean, do you think this was maybe an event somewhere over in the UK that John just took her to, or do you think this is on set somewhere and that's like his trailer and he literally has his face on it promoting whatever
Beyond
initiative
Obstacles? John Boyega, actor. So we're looking at the Instagram photo. If you go on StarWarsTime.net,
I feel like he's at some sort of event.
I think it is an event because it looks like there's like a chain locked door right next to Daisy, so people can't get in, or they're like waiting to unlock it to let the fans in. It might be, it might have been some sort of fan event that was that Boyega
or
was
like it's
part of.
one of his foundations. I don't know, but I mean his face is literally on the side of the trailer.
Yeah, it's a huge picture of his face. But I mean, there's not a lot of Star Wars context here, but it was cool to see. It's clear.
Well, I mean, dude, Daisy Ridley has not been on social media in over 2 years, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not at all. Outside of like other people posting images of her from set, or pictures of her.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff that.
scanning pictures or downloading stuff that paparazzis have taken. I mean,
yeah, but this also shows that I think the only other context that we can get out of this is that they're both probably still on set filming. If they're together.
Oh yeah, damn straight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I brought up. Is like this just confirms that the mains are still at it.
Yeah, and I mean, the last time we talked about John was last week, and he was saying that he was still going, and we mentioned this after the C-3PO and BB-8, goodbyes. But he's still at it. But he said that he was close. He said he was almost done. So I would imagine that if Finn is almost done, then you're probably not too far away from Rey being almost finished as well. But yeah, I mean, again, this is a very cool little post, cool little moment. And it gives us something to look forward to. Seeing Daisy Ridley again, seeing her in the wild on social media is nice, but seeing her,
I love that. I mean, I love these two and how they interact. I mean, I love them in TFA. I love the moment at the end of TLJ.
Yeah,
that is. I mean, again, when you have a little kid and you tend to watch Star Wars a lot, I've started to realize more magical moments in TLJ than I first did. But when Luke is essentially saying Kylo like, "No, you're wrong, dude. I'm not the last one." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm not the last Jedi," and they flick the Rey, and she's literally there.
Yeah. Fucking
one arm has all
the
these rocks separated, so the whole resistance can come out, and Finn sees her, and she sees him, and it's like. It's some great stuff, and that's just because of the magic they made in TFA, thanks to JJ and some of the scenes he wrote for the two.
Yeah. So good stuff. Next up, we have our last piece, and this was one that Matt went off on, made another video, a rant video, and it's about a possible episode 9.
It's back to the title, actually.
Possible episode 9 title. And then also new rumored villains out there. So this came from Making Star Wars, obviously the rumor for the villains, and then also the title came from Reddit. So let's just jump right in. The title that we may be looking at here, and this was found from a Reddit person who looked into the HTML code of the StarWars.com website. He found Star Wars Episode 9, Balance
This
of
could
the
be very
Force.
janky, but
It's probably, balance of the Force to me. One,
it would work, but Nick and a lot of people brought up one great point.
yeah, it's literally the title of an official Star Wars pinball game. Like, it's so official that it's on. Like, if you type in Star Wars Balance of the Force on Google, the first thing pops
it should
up.
be the first thing that comes up.
Yeah, the first thing that comes up is that pinball game on the official Star Wars website. So it's out there. Star Wars has recognized this thing. It's not like a third-party game. Like, they made it. So it seems to me like if they were going to name the last movie of their flagship franchise after a pinball game, there may be somebody missing,
Well, and again, when I look back on this, I mean, I definitely got excited and just kind of ran with it because that's what people do these days. But if you look at the graphic itself is ridiculous.
The graphic anybody
the graphic
could make.
would never show up on StarWars.com.
No, are you kidding me?
I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, who the hell would ever put that?
Like,
up?
seriously, here's the thing about Star Wars graphics, like Star Wars title graphics, anybody can make them because all it is, like, you can literally just download the Star Wars fucking Starfield background and the Star Wars font for free. Like, they're out there. Anybody can get it.
It's the fact that they list all of the digital retailers underneath it. I don't. That would never show up on StarWars.com.
No, that's not coming out on StarWars.com.
I mean, to me, that's the biggest issue. But I mean, I ran with it anyways because that's what we do as fans. So, I mean, let's just kind of play with it, Nick.
Yeah,
I kind of saw your reaction to it, and I kind of brought it up in my rant. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
it doesn't.
But it would kind of fit for closing out the Skywalker saga per se.
This idea of balance in the Force has been around since the prequels. I mean, even the
even
originals.
Johnson, who completely changed the idea of the Force, focused on balance.
Yeah.
I mean, that was everything on the island.
Exactly. So it's not a new concept, and it's not something that's been unexplored in Star Wars. It's something that that the Jedi are always striving for, is this idea of balance in the Force. So naming the game, or not the game, the movie, naming the movie this would be very fitting for the end of the Skywalker saga.
Balance is never referenced in the original trilogy, is it?
I think just outside of, I think when Yoda is talking to Luke on Dagobah, like when he's meditating and he's like talking about the Force, I think he may mention it, but
I just always thought that was more of a prequel.
yeah, it may be. I'd have to go back and
I mean, for Christ's sake, I've seen him so many times recently. You'd think it would stick out, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, the only thing that's popping up to me is
I don't ever remember Yoda or Ben saying you must bring balance to the Force.
No.
They say you must confront your father.
Yeah, I don't think that the idea of bringing balance to the Force was
that's my point.
Was the prequel.
The original trilogy never focused on light has to cancel out the dark or whatever, or if they have to cancel out each other. I mean, technically, and that's kind of what I brought up in the videos. Like there wasn't even balance after the end of the originals because the light technically would have been dominating.
Yeah, and that's something.
And then the darkness would rise. I mean, Snoke himself says it in this new trilogy.
Yeah,
darkness rises, light to meet it.
And so this is something that I was going to bring
is balance up. Even obtainable?
So the thing that I was going to say is when you take this in conjunction with the rumor of the villains, which is, I'll go into this. So there is a rumor that the villains of this movie will not be the First Order, that it's going to be an outside force that comes from the beyond, which is basically...
Which your two host idiots have talked about before, by the way. I mean, we have proposed... And me in particular, when we've talked about Kylo's redemption, is that the only paths I've seen were an outside force, a la, as Nick was going to say, the Yuuzhan Vong.
Yeah.
Or death by, saving Rey from some threat or somebody from some threat.
Yeah. So my rationale, if I'm going to try to rationalize this title with also adding in this new idea of villains coming in from an outside perspective.
Right, and this is the new rumor coming from making
Star Wars, yes. My thought is that balance would be the coexistence of the dark and the light to fight against this new force.
That, I mean, by definition, Nick, that's the only thing that could achieve balance.
Yeah.
You can't have one or the other. There has to be the gray, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have the gray Jedis and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, and the idea, like, it's a hard concept to grapple with in Star Wars, is that you would have a dark side force presence that is active in the galaxy, but is being allowed to exist without
the Clone Wars, wouldn't you agree, explains it the best when they did the Mortis episodes.
Yeah, so that was actually like an actual look at what the intended meaning of balancing the forces.
Balance was you had the father, the son, and the daughter, with the son and the daughter reflecting dark and the light.
And then the father was, basically stopping.
Essentially the balance. Yeah. Like, he was the one that kept the balance between the two.
And Anakin, his entire purpose, according to this,
supposed to be him.
Yeah, he was supposed to take the place of the father, who was essentially, he was dying. But
he chose the son.
Yeah. So it's just, that's a whole thread that a ton of people don't know about because it's in the Clone Wars TV series. But again, a perfect reason.
Such a good show.
Why to watch it.
Such a good show.
But I do, so I'll say this. If I'm looking at them individually, not a huge fan of the title. Balance of the Force, I was talking to one of my friends and I said that they could sway me on the title depending on the content of the movie. Like, TLJ was another one where I was like, oh man, this is really cool. Like, I like the concept of it, but I want the movie to pay off on it. And it did. Like, it explained the title. The Force Awakens, again, explains the title.
The title was still, it had multiple meanings.
It did. It did. For this one, I don't know what multiple mean. Like, it's not one that could be used in different ways. Like, it's pretty straightforward to me. And you would have a hard time trying to like,
in perfect world without the pinball game, I think it could ultimately work, again, obviously with your caveat.
Yeah.
And especially with the rumor MSW was reporting with the outside force. You could technically achieve balance to combat a mortal threat.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that's the case, then in that movie you would have like almost a true balance where you have dark and light coexisting.
And that's where you'd get the purple, man. Blue,
there you go.
And red.
Maybe her lightsaber is going to have a purple crystal. Maybe she.
I would love for Rey to whip out purple. Like, if it's not going to be a fiery blue, like we talked about a week or two ago with Cam VFX poster.
Yep.
I want it to be purple for sure.
Just like
or pinkish.
White Mace away. Mace doesn't have purple.
Pink purple.
Yeah, I'd like it too. So on to the villain thing. I like the idea of it, and like Matt said, we have been talking about this for a long time. Like, once we started talking about like Kylo's arc and where does it go. And
we both agreed with each other that we should be writers at least.
Yeah, I think that they heard our podcast.
We just can't figure out why we haven't been hired.
Yeah, because what's happening is the story group in Hidalgo, they're listening to Star Wars Time, they're jacking our ideas, and they're just not letting us know about it. They're just giving them to the writers of the movies.
Right, and they're so slick, like they don't even want credit because, again, they don't do anything.
Yeah, it's like the story group, what story?
They just say, all right, as long as you didn't fuck up the canon, you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, go at it. You can do anything you want as long as you don't kill this character in this movie. That's it.
Literally, at this point, I've come to the conclusion that as long as they do not destroy the canon and the new canon stays... the continuity remains. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're not concerned too much with the individual plot beats within
whatever
each story.
stories you want to tell, as long as you don't fuck with the overall structure, you're good.
Yeah. So this villain, Matt. So the first thing, and also you can take this and compare it to Daniel's tweet, because Daniel's first tweet was saying, from. Let me go back to it. He was talking about something
No,
coming
you're
from
right.
light
He's
years
talking
away.
like it's coming, some sort of signal, crazy thing floating in.
Yeah. So this is his tweet right here. How strange! I'm receiving images of something amazing coming towards us, traveling over decades through space and time. Like, and this rumor says that this outside force will be coming from the unknown regions. The unknown regions are very far out in space, so traveling over decades.
They're calling it MSW, or their source or whatever. They're calling it the Beyond.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that even, like, outside the unknown? Who knows? But I'm telling you, dude, the more I think about it, the more I'd be like, dude, this would be so badass.
Yeah, dude. Like,
if you just, like, the first quarter or so of the movie, they're still dicking around with, we hate you, we hate you, we hate you.
dude.
And then out of nowhere, they're just like,
Dude, what if it's
like hyperspace, like just these motherfuckers are coming in from nowhere, like blah 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 blah, like half the fucking First Order gets wiped out in a second.
What if it's Thrawn? What if it's Thrawn? Because
Thrawn and Ezra.
Thrawn and Ezra
Like,
just fucking
Ezra's,
show
like,
back up,
all fucking tatted out, like beard and long hair. He's riding a fucking space wolf,
dude.
and he's like,
They come back with just
and
the
like
fucking
the fucking hyperspace whales come in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, people, if you watch
Rebels.
Rebels.
Dude. I think, like, I'm not gonna say that there's a possibility of that happening, but when when I heard it, like when I saw Daniel's tweet and then I heard this rumor, I'd be like, how dope would it be if it was Thrawn? Like, Thrawn just jumps in with a fucking brand new army. And
I still contend they're alive because of the way that the epilogue goes. I mean, Ahsoka and Sabine essentially team up to go look for Ezra.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Sabine says.
yeah, and like I would love that if they did that. Also,
She's like, I'm almost positive you're out there. I hope you're out
Yeah.
there. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
Also, that would just make Richard E. Grant the perfect liar. We talked about him last week, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not playing Grand Admiral
his
Thrawn."
script is like, would you know? I don't know. Would you know?
It's like, I wonder if
he
you're
said
gonna
he's definitely not
recognize
Thrawn,
me.
But
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? He's probably could be lying.
Yeah, he could be, but I think
I would love. I mean, if it doesn't go that way, I'm not saying I'd be disappointed, but I guess just getting this stuff this week kind of allowed the speculation brain to explore a bit, which I love.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's likely not going to be that. But if it was something like the Yuzon Vong from the original EU, which was a terror on the galaxy, like it caused a full-scale galactic conflict, like this.
Well, didn't they end up killing Chewbacca?
Yeah, he died during the Yuzon Vong War. He was saving Anakin Solo, which was a kid, like one of Han and Leia's youngest son, and like a planet, like literally in the like he died in a comic, I think. Like in the fucking comic, the thread shows like a planet. There was two planets colliding, and like he got crushed by a planet. Like that. If you're gonna kill. If you're gonna kill Chewbacca,
Yeah, like Chewbacca's essentially Star Wars Superman.
Yeah, like
furry guy.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna kill
He's
Chewie,
like furry man.
that's how you have to do it.
Yeah, so dude, I don't know how much you dug into MSW, but what do you think about the ideas that possibly the Knights of Ren are coming in with this force, or the Knights of Ren, or kind of like part of Kylo's private militia to kind of shore up his power, but they may be kind of plotting against him like a Sith would.
Yeah. So I like the idea. I don't think that the idea that the Knights of Ren are escorting this new force in. So this is kind of my two thoughts. I do like the idea.
What if they're coming in to warn him, but then they try to fuck him over?
Yeah, like I think that maybe the reason that we haven't seen the Knights of Ren is because Kylo's had them out in the unknown regions or in the beyond. Like, hey, I know there's something out here. Like Snoke came from out there. Snoke's probably still, in touch with beings out there. I need you guys to go do some research. Like, you guys go out there, come back and let me know. They come back in and they're running from whatever this is, and they come back and they're like, holy shit, there's this whole force here. They team back up with Kylo. All of them team up together with the Resistance to fight this thing. I think that's a possibility. I do like the idea, though, that the Knights of Ren are the Force themselves. Like, they're the ones that are doing the overthrow. Because we haven't seen them, but we do know, or it's been...
Oh, like Kylo's going to have to team up with Rey to fight off Ren,
his own
the
boys.
Knights.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
But, I mean, do you think they're just going to come out of nowhere and do that? Or do you think we may kind of get introduced, like he brought them back in to kind of shore up his own little private army security force to protect them from Hux?
Yeah. And I like that, but I like he does that and then they turn on him.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go with it, because again, like something like that, I mean, like this Bendemption hashtags going around, like something like that is another way to show him, like, you know, these people that you think that are loyal to you and that they're only serving you because of the power that you have, and as soon as they see an opportunity to usurp you, then you're nothing to them. Like, it's another moment for him to realize that this path that he's following can only bring death. It can only end in his death by a malicious fashion. Like, it's never going to end like a Jedi's life would end or something like that, where it's, you know, you live out your life and you die and you don't have to worry about conflict. A Sith's life is always, or a dark side, user's life is always waiting to be killed by whoever's under you. And that's exactly what the Knights of Ren are.
Dude, I'm almost convinced now that the Knights of Ren could be what's going to flip Kylo.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, it was rumored, I don't know if this is canon, I don't think it is, but, like, it was rumored when we thought the Knights of Ren were going to be in TLJ that, like, the Knights of Ren are actually fallen, like, students from Luke's academy that he left with.
Right.
Like, when he destroyed this academy.
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely can fuck around. I mean, we've even heard that they may have learned, like, more even sinister kind of dark side-ish powers.
Yeah, I mean,
as they've been doing whatever they've been doing, since we haven't seen him since Rey's, memory or lightsaber flashback.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they could very well be the people that killed Leia. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I really do want this to pay off, because Knights of Ren has been something that we've been looking forward to since TFA.
You're right. We need something.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan he didn't see them in his story, so he didn't include them. But I really do think that you have these characters that were built up. Like, it wasn't just like, they saw, like, Rey saw them in her vision and that was it. Like, Snoke called them out, the leader of the Knights of Ren. We see them in the vision. We actually get art, like, in an art book, we have extensive photographs and drawings and portrayals of them. I mean, like, I don't.
Oh, they were meant to be something.
Yeah.
I mean, it could very well be something that, as you said, Ryan just didn't have a vision. But they're meant to be something. That they can't just be thrown away. I mean, he's not just Kylo Ren for fun.
Yeah.
Or the way he's such a homer for his grandfather, he would have almost assumed a Darth role, even though he's not a Sith.
Yeah. So I like that, and I would, I think that there is room for both. There is room for the Knights of Ren to be in this movie, and the instigating force to be something else other than them. But I feel like the more logical thing is probably having them as the instigating force.
Oh, of course, because then you don't have to set up a whole, like, aha, look brand new, let's try to introduce or explain who these people are. I mean, it really wouldn't work, honestly. As cool as it sounds, it would have had to have happened at the end of The Last Jedi.
Now, what if, okay, I'm going to throw out a crazy idea here. What if this does happen? Like, it's not the Knights of Ren, it's Yuzan Vong type shit. Yuzan Vong comes in.
No, what if it's fucking Xenomorphs?
Xenomorphs, and Ridley Scott is co-directing this movie.
And Predators.
It's just a complete mishmash.
Like, they've teamed up. It's literally Predators using Xenomorphs as their hunting animals.
That would be perfect. I would.
Right? I mean, that would be a force to challenge the Star Wars galaxy.
100%. But okay, so the way that I was thinking about it is, it's Yuzan Vong.
And the Xenomorphs have the Force.
If the Xenomorphs have the Force, I think the Predators
they have
would
the
have
Force
the Force. Because the xenomorphs are just like animals. They can't use the Force. They don't have a brain. They're too dumb. All they see is like food.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm also just making shit up.
Yeah.
So that's why they have the Force.
Like, they could, if they had the Force, then
Basically, they have. I mean, they have like shields against like cheap blaster attacks and stuff.
yeah. I think that would be a very hard Force to counter. But so I'm trying. So basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to link Ryan's new trilogy, which we know nothing about, to this. So what if the Yuzhan Vong or whatever it is, they come in and they're the Force, and then Ryan's trilogy of movies is exploring that Force that comes to the current Star Wars galaxy from another galaxy. So like you're seeing the devastation, the war,
as in like prequel.
Yeah, almost like
to the Force, like prequel to what could happen in 9, or post what happens in 9.
Like a prequel to what would happen in 9.
Yeah, I think it would have to be, because I mean I'm pretty sure they've come out on record and saying like, yeah, this is not going to deal with
it would be completely
anything you guys know about.
Yeah, like I said,
have ever heard.
It would be completely different characters. It would be like none of the characters from 9. So it would be a completely different star system.
But it would be telling a story of whatever race or Force comes and lays hell down upon.
Yeah.
People in 9.
Yeah, and then you can continue if you want to continue with these characters, you can then say the Skywalker saga has ended here. This new, and then you can continue on with the war of whatever, like the Yuzhan Vong War movie trilogy that's not Ryan's. So you have the concurrent trilogy, or the concurrent saga still going on with the current characters.
Yeah, and that's where Daisy and John and or Oscar.
Yeah, they continue.
Maybe
there.
even Adam would come back.
Yep. So that's just like, that's the thought. I think it would like something. Like,
I like it, man. I mean, I
doubt it. It's not
Star
never
Wars.
happen.
I mean, I doubt Daisy and them are done. I honestly do not think they're done with just these 3.
No, I don't think so either.
They may be done for a few years, even a decade or 2.
Dude, I mean, Oscar Isaac is still going to be doing voices in Resistance. Like, I doubt that he's going to.
I love him.
Yeah, like he's.
I hope he does. I mean, I hope they're ponying up and paying for season 2.
Yeah.
Or they somehow, snag some sort of shady deal in his contract.
Yeah, so.
And he's just screwed for life.
I mean, I would love this current group of characters to continue on in a new, like, trilogy-esque movie.
I would too. Completely devoid of any of the Skywalker stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as I love it, but just gone.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the stories that were told in the old EU around the Yuzhan Vong War would work really well in a Star Wars live-action film. Like, that, if I was going to make a movie...
And you'd still have Chewie.
Yeah, I mean, you'd still have Chewie there. You could still have the droids. All of the familiar characters who are still left could be there, but you're just telling a different story. Like, this has all been around the sky.
Right, they're not going to be worried about, like, oh my God, what about, are we going to find Luke or Anakin's grave or Palpatine or Snoke? Or,
like, there is a legitimate war. Yeah, like
they're going to be worried about how do we just stay alive?
Yeah, like how do we stop the fucking,
like these things are eating planets alive.
Exactly.
I mean, should we build our own Death Star?
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. Not saying that that's gonna happen, but
well, I'd love it. I'm unsure if it does. I mean, we've talked about it. I'd love for them to come out and be like, oh, by the way, this is going to be a 2-parter, or if they're just like, yo, this is going to be at least 3 hours. We've heard Avengers Endgame's 3 hours, and it's been tracking at 3 hours and testing well, so they're probably going to keep it at that.
I've read somewhere that they're thinking about putting in an intermission. I'm like, dude, it's 15 minutes longer than TLJ. You don't need an intermission. Like, come on.
No, you don't need, not for 3 hours. I mean, I'd argue you wouldn't need an intermission for 3.5 if you were a capable human. I mean, you just got to prepare. You got to just not drink a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's like, look, I'm going into a movie that's 3 hours long. I'm not.
I'll be honest. Whenever I fly or know I'm going to a movie, I just don't consume that much liquid. I know it's not healthy, but I'd rather not pee.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
To me, entertainment's more important than my health.
Yeah, like people go into movies. Like all my friends are like, "Oh, you getting anything?" I'm like, "No, I'm not getting anything. I don't want to have to
I
get
hate
up.
motherfucker, dude. If you need to eat all that shit in a movie, you've got fucking problems.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
Like if you need to be drinking shit and fucking stuffing your face with popcorn and candy, it's like, for Christ's sake, it's only maybe 2.5 hours tops.
Yeah, and that's if you're seeing like a Marvel movie. Like if you're going to
It's like, what the
see a
fuck?
regular movie, it's like an hour and 30, hour 45.
It's like where I go AMC. I mean, some of them are dining. You got motherfuckers ordering like full on entrees and eating like pigs.
Like just a fucking full platter of barbecue
Yeah, like,
wings.
blah, 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 and it smells like shit because that's all you smell the whole time. All right.
All right. Well, those are the rumors. So let us know what you think of the title, because we've had some conversation back and forth. A couple of my friends talked about it. Matt and I talked about it. I want to hear your guys' opinions on it. Balance of the Force. Do you think it's good? And what do you think about this idea of either the Knights of Ren being the instigating force in Episode 9, or a completely new outside force that we've never seen before? Do you think that could work in this movie? Let us know. Drop us a line. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere. We got our first organic Facebook interaction from a fan. He was talking about one of his girlfriend's kid and him have been playing a lot of Battlefront together. It was really cool. And then like he showed us a picture of his kid's schoolwork, and it's got Star Wars stuff all over it. It was great. I loved it. So
yeah, keep it up. I mean, if you're listening, please do stuff like that. Share stuff. Link us to people you think that'll like us. Tell them to review, whatever. It'll go a long way for us. Trust me.
yeah.
Trust me. I mean, I know it sounds like we're begging, but that's the way you got to play this game. You got to get reviews. You got to get the shares. You got to get the clicks. You got to get the backlinks, all that fun stuff. So anyways, man, I think we've ran the gamut this week. We've covered all things fresh and new that you need to know in the Star Wars universe. So hopefully you've enjoyed the ride, my friends. I know I always appreciate doing it. I'm glad Nick is back, even though he still is a little sick. He wasn't going to be a dick tonight. He actually joined on, threw on his headset, fired up the mic, and talked all things Star Wars. So hopefully you appreciated the top 5 Instagram shares of the week. We're going to keep that up. I really enjoyed that segment. I think Nick did too. I mean, that is really Star Wars fandom is my second favorite part of being a Star Wars fan. I know it sounds silly, but I mean, number one is obviously the movies and enjoying the lore and the stories and just the fantasy of it all. But I truly love, I love collecting, but I love just the art and the passion people have for Star Wars and the way they express it in art forms, typically in animation, drawing, illustration, or my favorite, toy photography. All right, people, we'll keep it up. If you're into that stuff, don't forget on IG, hashtag Star Wars Time Show. We'll feature you. Don't worry about it. We'll feature even if you don't do it, because we love you. We take care of you. It's Star Wars, right? There's always time for Star Wars time. All right, my friends. May the Force be with you, always.